Hello from Mountain West Media Days at the Circa in Las Vegas. He's the voice of Hawaii football, John Veneri. I'm Josh Pacheco. Great to have you with us. You'll be hearing and seeing a lot of the different people from around the Mountain West all week long, including the Director of Athletics at the University of Hawaii, Matt Elliott.
Great. Thank you for having me. Great to see you guys here. I'm so glad you made the trip as well.
Yeah, we were just in Commissioner Gloria Navarez's press conference a short time ago. I'm not sure how much you took away from that, from outside of what you already kind of learned, but you're coming into a Mountain West conference this year that has, there's a little bit of stuff going on behind the scenes. Describe, how confident you are in the conference and where it currently is right now from the Hawaii perspective.
What I loved about the way she started her remarks and the way I think we think about athletics as well is that the student athlete is at the core. You're going to hear that in everything that we do, and I love alignment there with the conference. So for her to say, this is unique, this is about providing opportunities in higher education, and that's at our core, and we put that and the joy of sports at the center of everything we do, that makes me feel like we're in the right place, and I feel really good about that.
Yeah, and one of those areas where she talked about was weeknight games, playing on like a Thursday or a Friday. You do have a weeknight game, and that's the Friday against UNLV. Granted, that's the Formula One weekend here. Is that something you like? Do you prefer not having weeknight games? What is your kind of stance on that?
I see the balance. I do. I want to protect our core academic experience for our student athletes and not put them in a place where they are going to be at a disadvantage in what they have to accomplish. But I also do see a lot of excitement around it. I think it is a spot where you can be creative. If it doesn't put our fans in an inconvenient place where it's not accessible to get to the games or things like that, you got to balance all of that. But at the same time, we are in a space right now of being creative and being innovative, and that's the way to make sure your program thrives and excels. So I think you look at everything.
The fact that you're coming off of a bye week going into the short week also makes it a little more doable. You're not playing a Saturday and then a Friday. And could you maybe just comment on the fact that you guys do have 3 bye weeks, and for the second straight year, there are only 12 games on the schedule. Your thoughts on that?
First, I think you're right. And especially in the sport of football, you don't want to put your team in a short week situation. You avoid that wherever you can. So to have that schedule crafted in a way that you're prepared for a midweek game or a weekday game is really important. As we look forward, I will align myself with Coach. We will look at our opportunities for scheduling. We have what's in front of us, and we will play the games on our schedule. And I think the way the schedule is set up right now will give us an excellent opportunity to be successful. And then we say, okay, where do we go from here, and how do we create a schedule that gives us the best opportunity, brings the best opponents to Hawaii, so that we can play teams that our fans are really excited to see, and also make sure that we win a lot of games.
You were kind of thrown into the fire, so to speak. I mean, you haven't been on the job very long, but already football season, volleyball season, soccer season is upon us. Do you feel caught up? Do you feel in a good place? Are you where you need to be for your job and for what you need to do for the coaches and the athletes?
Yeah, I feel like we're in a really good place, and it has been a bit of a benefit to start in the summer, start in a time frame where there's not a game every day or multiple games every week. We know it's right around the corner. That's the reality of college sports, is there's always something right there on the schedule ahead of you. But it has allowed me to get ready in these the couple weeks that I've been here now, and then what do we got? About 5-6 weeks before games actually start, to start focusing on what is that first game going to look like? How are we going to have the ultimate game day experience, and make sure our teams are ready to start competing at the highest level.
Matt Elliott joining us, the Director of Athletics at the University of Hawaii. Charters have been a conversation, and I know that's something that you've had to work on since day one. Has a decision been made on charters with football yet?
We are very close. We're having great conversations with our partners at Hawaiian Airlines. They're obviously an entity that we've had a tremendous history with, working really closely with them to figure out what are our best options, talking with Coach regularly about it, and our overall university administration. So I think we'll have an answer very soon on that, and I think we're going to be in a good place.
One of the other things that was said in the press conference a short time ago, Gloria Navarez specifically talked about Hawaii's positioning when it comes to television, and talking about the late night slots. You've got many times the last game of the day. And that could be very interesting if they do go a streaming route a little bit later on. But I know we talked about last week. We caught up off-site somewhere, and you were mentioning, knowing Hawaii's worth and value to a television partner or group of television partners for a conference. How do you feel about that moving forward, especially when the conference is potentially looking at new partners, maybe streaming, which is something that Hawaii hasn't really had to partake in? How do you feel about that landscape with Hawaii's positioning in TV?
Yes. I believe, yes.
I was a little loaded, I know.
I believe we are a marquee entity. I believe we have a tremendous value in the conference that we're in, and I want that to be promoted in every possible way. So I am doing that in our conversations with conference leadership, in the national landscape. I'm making sure we emphasize that value. And what's really important to me is that we create accessibility for our fans as well. Make sure our games can be seen in as broad a way as possible. So I want to be strategic and creative, and I want to promote that that thinking is how do we make sure that our student athletes are being rewarded for their work with the viewership, with the in-person attendance, with all the things that come along with that ultimate fan experience. And I want that to be available to everybody in Hawaii. I want everybody to be able to see our games as much as possible. So as they look forward and they make these deals, that's really the ideas that we're promoting, is how do we get accessibility, how do we maximize our value, and make sure the Hawaii profile is elevated to the highest level.
One of the things, someone was talking about this to us the other day, your vision coming in, or the way you've kind of approached this job here in the first couple of weeks, one of the things that I was told was you've come in kind of learning what's being done right now, not necessarily coming in and kind of dictating, this is what I want, this is how to do things. Talk about that approach coming in, to which, hey, you want to make your athletic department kind of your own, but at the same time, not necessarily overstepping in a way. Describe kind of your process in that.
Yeah, what is your leadership style?
Yeah.
My leadership style is I believe everybody is talented and everybody is committed to the work. I believe that we have an excellent foundation. We are a school that is already competing for national championships in sports. We're a school that has a long history of success. And to come in and say, I want to understand how we've done that. How have we put together a program that has created this legacy that folks are so proud of, that everybody I meet talks about their pride in UH. That is so powerful to me. So I want to come in and understand that. It's not my job to disrupt things for the sake of disrupting them. But what I do know is I understand how the business of college sports works. I've seen it at the highest level, and I've seen it for a long time, and I've been at the forefront of all of this evolution of conference realignment, of the new NIL model, and to be able to incorporate some of that background and some of that experience into the way that we operate as a current institution, I think that's where we're going to have the greatest outcomes. So I'm going to rely heavily on the people who understand this place and have done the work for a long time. We have fantastic coaches. I've had so many incredible and inspiring conversations with them already. So I'm not here to change things just for the sake of changing things. I'm here to create a plan that's going to give us the best possible outcomes, and I think everybody should be a part of that.
Lastly, you got to reveal the Nike football jersey last week. I think you did that in the lecture hall, right? Your thoughts on kind of that early part of the relationship and what you think about the football jerseys?
Yeah, love the jerseys. I think they're an excellent product, and at the end of the day, they highlight everything that we're about, which I think is putting our brand front and center, and then partnering with a brand like Nike, which is obviously world-renowned and has created a tremendous product and everything they've done for decades. So I'm excited for that partnership. I know our student-athletes are really fired up to be with Nike. It's great for our coaches as well. It matters, even in things like recruiting. It matters when you're having that conversation. As I've said over the last couple of weeks, I want to put our coaches in the best possible position to recruit and retain elite student athletes, and shoe and apparel partnerships is part of that at the end of the day. So I think we're really proud of where we're going in that space as well.
Matt, thanks for giving us a little bit of your time. Enjoy the circus here at the Circa.
Thank you again, guys. It's awesome to see you this morning.
Appreciate it.